All right. Good morning, Acting Chair Garrett, Member Vollendroff, staff and guests. The lobbies are open and the recording has begun.
Thank you, Dustin. Good morning, everyone. I am going to call the Wednesday, March 27th Liquor and Cannabis Board meeting to order. David will not be joining us today. And with that, I will go into the first agenda item. Denise is going to be presenting general rulemaking.
Good morning, board members Garrett and Vollendroff.
Good morning.
This morning I will be presenting for approval a CR 103 that implements the penalties portion of a gross substitute Senate Bill 5365 from the 2023 legislative session. Specifically, the new law increases penalties the LCB may impose under RCW 7155-100 for violations to licensed retailers who sell tobacco and vapor products to persons under the age of 21. There are a series of penalty increases for the first through fourth violations outlined in WAC 314-35075 table. The penalty for the first violation in a 3-year period increases from $200 to $1,000. The penalty for the second violation in a 3-year period increases from $600 to $2,500. The penalty for the third violation in a 3-year period increases from $2,000 to $5,000. And the penalty for the fourth violation increases from $3,000 to $10,000. Other parts of a gross substitute Senate Bill 5365 around LCB enforcement and education have already been implemented. Because these changes are required by statute, meaning we have to make these rule changes and we have to change the rules exactly as the bill required, we used expedited rulemaking. The CR 105 for expedited rulemaking was approved by the board and filed on January 17th and was published in the Washington State Register on February 7th. Under expedited rulemaking, there is a 45-day opportunity for objections once the CR 105 is published, and this period ended yesterday, March 26th. Since we received no objections, we can proceed with filing the CR 103 for final adoption of this rule. If approved, the 103 will be filed immediately and the rule changes will be effective Saturday, April 27th. Based on this, I am requesting approval today of the CR 103 for final adoption of the rule to implement and gross substitute Senate Bill 5365 to increase penalties to licensed retailers for selling tobacco and vapor products to people under the age of 21. Thank you, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Jim, do you have any questions?
No, I have no questions, but I would like to make a quick comment, and that is that there are several areas in which we, both retailers and licensing and enforcement, can agree upon. And this is one of those areas, and that is keeping product out of the hands of age-restricted products out of the hands of young people. And I support the idea of fines that are going to help support that. So these seem like steep fines, and they're steep fines for a reason, and they're increased to these steeper numbers for a reason. So I just want to go on the record as saying that I support penalties for providing and selling products to young people. And I hope we look at this in other areas that we oversee, including alcohol and cannabis. So thank you, Denise.
Thank you. So can I get a motion for adoption of the CR 103 for engrossed substitute Senate Bill 5365 regarding increased penalties for selling tobacco and vapor products to persons under the age of 21?
Yeah, this is Jim. I make a motion that we adopt CR 103 for engrossed Senate Bill 5365 regarding increased penalties for tobacco and vapor products.
And this is I second. Thank you. So now, Denise, we will move on to cannabis-related rulemaking.
Okay, good morning again. This morning, I'm going to present a rule petition for board action. As I will explain, the Director's Office is recommending denying the petition for rulemaking. On February 22nd, LCB rule staff received a petition submitted by Justin Gua requesting that language changed in WAC 314-55083 be changed back to the previous language. WAC 314-55083 is the security and traceability requirements for cannabis licensees. Prior to receipt of the petition, LCB rule staff had multiple email exchanges and phone conversations with the petitioner to try to understand his concerns around WAC 314-55083. The petitioner noted to staff that he believed that there had been recent or new changes to language in WAC 314-55083, but didn't identify what specific language or subsection he was referring to. The most recent amendments to WAC 314-55083 took effect in 2022 and involved replacing marijuana with cannabis as part of expedited rulemaking amendments throughout Chapter 314-55. Before that, the last substantive amendments took effect in 2018, filed as WSR 1822-055. These amendments included adding the term traceability to the section title, replacing the word shall with must for requiring cameras to allow clear identification of persons and activities in controlled areas, and requiring recordings from indoor and outdoor vantage points, and removing references to quarantine locations and 24-hour mandatory waiting periods. Prior amendments to WAC 314-55083 took effect in 2016, 2015, and 2014. Rule staff provided a history of amendments to WAC 314-55083 to the petitioner to help identify what changes he was referring to. However, the petitioner did not include specific amendments he wants reversed in the petition. The LCB does not typically accept petitions to undo changes that have been done through rulemaking, especially when the reason to undo these changes has not been fully explained. Based on the information provided here, the Director's Office recommends that the board deny the petition for rulemaking to reverse unspecified sections of WAC 314-55083 due to lack of complete information about the request. Thank you, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
I have no
questions.
questions. Okay, and with that, do I have a motion to deny the rule petition request for reverse changes to WAC 314-55083 regarding security and traceability requirements for cannabis license?
Good morning, this is Jim, and I make a motion that we deny this request regarding WAC 314-55083 regarding security and traceability.
And this is Ali, I second, and with that, that is denied. Thank you, Denise. And now we move into general public comment. The general public comment, this is where the public is available to address the board. Everyone has up to 4 minutes to speak. We would ask that you limit your comments to LCB business and refrain from personal attacks or going off topic. For all of those that are registered for and received a reply back from Dustin of accepting your registering for virtual comment, if you can raise your hand, he can get you queued up. We ask that you be respectful to speakers and everyone else who is present. And remember that this is being recorded and will be available online later today. And with that, the first person that we have registered for virtual comment is Sammy Saab.
Next week, I take the selfies. Yes, I'm playing. I can't, I don't.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to say hi for all of you. I just want to mention a certain thing. I think for equity for those people, I have a license through the social equity now, but I feel bad for those people who didn't get their license. I think the board they can do a lot better as well. You know, as well. What we have now is really great. Banda did a great job. They don't know any one of us, and the board did the right choice to choose them. Uh, but it's still, we have in one license. Other people in the past they have in 4 and 5, actually 3 and 5. We didn't meet the justice for that. But the other thing is too, like Kevin Shelton and those people, it should be upcoming up license to be half and half. Half the rubric than what you guys chose, and the other one to meet the expectation of the community. I spoke today. My name is Sami Saad. I own the first cannabis shop when it was since it was medical, and I'm just to be lucky and to good, you know, the social equity. Not lucky to have it. I'm lucky to have it through the rubric because you know. But at the same time, I'm overqualified either or. But at the same time, some people is being still left. Second thing is, and it's very, very important. They have some people they try to volunteer, and one of them, a law office I know, for about the money, the grant. I don't think so. You know, they know what they're doing. Um, Commerce, and it's really make it hard for those people. And I'm requesting at the time to split the money together, and I think that's equity, and it's not leaving on nobody out. But it's some part we can't understand. It's say a female, my respect to a females, no disrespect, but we have only one female in that program. That's mean all other not to be accept on certain way. Other thing is say Seattle, CR something eligible for a certain grant, and after that it says Seattle not eligible for the same grant. So I couldn't understand that. So it's kind of some stuff is kind of complicated a little bit for other people. I'm not just thinking about me. You know, like I said, I'm one of those people, the top people having highest points. But at the same time, to split it all together, that's to build social equity and justice for everyone. I always think about everyone. And now the bill, the thing is coming the same way. I'm just asking the board from their heart to think to their heart. If somebody take your seat, you will never be happy. I wish the next one Kevin Shelton and Libby and those people they've been having shops in the past to be acknowledged, just to make everybody happy and to build success as well, to give us the opportunity to get 3 and 5 shops, not just one, what we've been having now. Second thing is the grant is for everybody owning license. It's not a trick. It's pick and choose. That's the most important to build, you know, social equity and to build success to secure location. We want you guys to make it easy for us and to speak to the work on commerce. We've been harassed by them. The second thing is I've been attacked by Marcus I, and Marcus I, we have to respect each other.
Sammy, you have 30 seconds.
Okay, we have to respect each other. Other than that, it's not going to work. Disrespect, crossing the line is not good. Like Eli Garrett said, personal attack is not good. So that's my message today, you know, to build success for all of us. But thank you, all the board. Thank you for everything. And we just look forward to see more success. This is on behalf of East African American community and myself on my store and my you know, the people with
Sammy,
me.
that's your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. And next we have signed up is Michael Check.
Good morning, Acting Chair Garrett. Michael Check registered to speak, but is not online today.
Next we have signed up is Ricky Lee.
Good morning, Board Member Garrett and Bollandroff. My name is Ricky Lee. I am a social equity cannabis winner. I'm coming to you today in regards to the grant money that's being provided to us as part of starting up our business. I received an email late last night from Launch, which went over the baseline of the round one and round two. I feel the amounts that are being handed out to these social equity winners is not going to be enough to start up a store. I myself have been denied by several locations while trying to find a location. I have found a location. In this location, this landlord asked for me to provide it's $20,000 a month with proving 6 months of funds. Now, again, we are all social equity applicants. We all come from impoverished and impoverished communities. This is a lot of money. And so I understand that, there is some money that's going to the mentor program as well. And I think the funds are not being spent in the correct way. Again, I get the mentorship is to help us in building our business, but again, just the amounts just don't match up. And all I'm asking you today is for you to go back and think about this aspect and do a analysis of what it's really going to take for us to be successful in this cannabis industry, because we have a lot of roadblocks that are going to be stopping us from opening up stores. And again, one of them is the raising rents and the cap on rents that there are charging cannabis retailers. And so, again, I know the commerce retail their plan was set up in 2022, and I don't think it's up to date in today's times. And so again, I beg and plead to you to go back and think about this and reevaluate this, as because it will depend on the success of this program. And this all lies in your hand and the success of this and me voicing that to you today. And so again, I hope you take this information to heart and think about this information that I'm providing you today and make those changes. And again, I do appreciate you listening to me today. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next person signed up is Mike Asa.
Mike, you should be ready to go.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, good morning, board members, Garrett and Valendroff. I guess chairperson's not there today, so I'm not there. Didn't put my suit and tie on today. I'm in birthday mode and relaxing. Look, this has been a long haul. Someone that started this in 2010 after my father passed. It's just disrespectful for people to think as if I should be satisfied with this one license. I was transparent on my incorporation. I didn't lie. LCB, this social equity program is your program. And I truly believe the powers to be want this program to fail. And it has been a failure under former Director Rick Garza. Board members, you guys are told things by staff. A lot of times I think you guys are given fluff and you're not given the truth. And what I truly believe is that, and don't take this to heart, I'm not calling LCB white supremacists, but what I truly believe, white supremacy in this nation has truly cares nothing about Black and brown community, truly cares nothing about the social equity program. Spoke with Elijah Moon 2 weeks ago. He was completely unaware that 2870, that there was grant funds allocated, 1.1 annually. He assumed Senate Bill 5080 was where the grant funds came. And this is the disconnect that we're having, that the LCB has with the Department of Commerce. Where's Mr. Director Fung? Where is Governor Jay Inslee? Where is Bob Ferguson? I am sick and tired of politicians speaking in regards to the Black and brown community and saying, oh, well, we care. But then when we reach out and we say, hey, what's going on? It's crickets. The reason that we can't find locations right now is because there's fraudulent stores right now that got licenses in 2015 under former Director Rick Garza and staff. This is facts. And we can't find locations right now. You guys are hiding behind Launch. Launch is completely, I don't even know what to say. They don't even know what they're doing. It's a Black They're using blackface, and this is owned by a white woman. It's a disrespect to the Black and brown community. It's a disrespect to have us wait for 4 years and have us wait for 6 months. And now they're telling me we got to wait for 2 rounds. And for anyone in the community to sit up here and say that we're misleading the community, no, we're not. We don't sell out the community. We're not misleading the community. We're telling the community truth to power. And the fact is, everybody knows what grant funds are. Grant funds are to open up your store to complete the licensing process that LCB has in their rules. Everybody knows this. We don't need 2 rounds. We need 1 round and these funds initiated. Anybody that wins an appeal after June 30th, technically by law doesn't qualify. LCB, Black Access to Cannabis. And I'm speaking from the hat this morning, you know, from really Emerald City Collective. But Black Access to Cannabis, along with Emerald City Collective, was instrumental working with LCB to pass Senate Bill 5080. In that bill, we didn't push back, but that bill gave LCB 12.5 million annually. LCB should do the right thing and say, you know what, how about we give some of this money up for the program? Because at the end of the day, LCB doesn't need any more funds. I'm frustrated. The community is frustrated. My son's in prison. I've lost my uncle. I've lost my brother. I started this when my dad passed away. That's my story. And a lot of other people have other stories as well. This is the pain we're having. The 3 qualifications means you don't come from generational wealth. You don't have access to capital. So for us to sit here almost April now of 2024, 4 years after the passage of this bill, and those grant funds are not ready, there is no mistake. Something was done deliberately. Director Fung, you need to speak up.
If you have 30
Governor
seconds.
Jay Inslee, on your way out, you need to help out the Black and brown community. We're frustrated. We're tired of it. Those licenses that are fraudulent need to be revoked immediately. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have signed up for virtual is Carmen Rivera.
Hi, can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Thank you. My name is Carmen Rivera. I sat on the Liquor Cannabis Board's Social Equity and Cannabis Task Force for 2 years and fully understood the Department of Commerce grant funding was allocated to assist in getting these license holders stores set up and running. Because when we disbanded at the end of 2022, and I'm kind of curious how when the Liquor and Cannabis Board worked with the Department of Commerce to ensure that these grant funds would be available once letters of approval went out. And I'm also curious because, House Bill 2870 passed 4 years ago, as previously mentioned. Why is the program continued to be delayed? And, as we, understood on the task force, we understood that there was priority through actions. We show our priority through actions. And this task force and what we decided on was an opportunity to regain trust with already marginalized communities, Black and brown communities. However, now we're hearing again, like the process is delayed. These communities are hearing again, the process is delayed. And again, that's a loss of trust. It's an opportunity lost by the LCB and the Department of Commerce. And, when it comes to the 3 qualifications for the program that we help establish and the recommendations that we put forward, many of those obtaining the social equity license, as already mentioned, don't have access to capital. They come from disenfranchised backgrounds. And so again, I'm curious why the LCB and the Department of Commerce are taking such time with these grant funds. And now there's a second round for these license holders, and these funds are needed today for these license holders now. And how long is round 2 going to have to wait? We understand, we all know here time is money. Anyone here understands time is money. And so we can't take that for granted in these individuals' times. And I am really, I don't want to think that the task force that I sat on for 2 years was just performative. I want to believe that the work we did is going to have real impacts. And now I'm not hearing so much about that. And it's disappointing because I gave my time, my energy, and I truly do believe in this. And, we did put the cart before the horse when it came to legalizing cannabis in this state. And we prioritized money over understanding the historical impacts of how Black and brown communities have been disenfranchised and impacted by the war on drugs. And we're supposed to do an overcorrect here. So I just want to hope that this opportunity isn't going to be lost, and what you're hearing today is going to be taken to heart, and some some direction's going to be taken. And I would really appreciate to hear on that, because I want to know the work I did and the input I gave is going to be beneficial to everybody that we want it to be beneficial to. So thank you again for your time, and thank you again for all your energy. And I appreciate you listening to us today.
Thank you, Carmen. Next signed up is Elijah Henry.
Elijah Henry registered to speak, but is not online with us today.
Thank you. That now takes us into our in-person registry. First signed up in person is Peter Manning.
You know, there was a guy on virtual that said he was there. It's fine. Give me a second. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, good morning, board members, Postman, and Ali Garrett and Ballandroff. My name is Peter Manning. I'm with Black Excellence Cannabis. I would like to start off by saying that we are not happy with the pick of the organization Launch that has close ties to a white control industry for the last 7 years to be in charge of doling out funds for the social equity program. As we know, we in the state have fought against the white retailers that tried to prevent from the social equity program coming to light in the state. Me being on the front lines, I know this firsthand. Now, Launch has been involved with these entities for the last 7 years, in which is evident if you look at the CEO of Launch. She boastfully states that she has close ties with the white retailers that have tried to lock out social equity applicant or social equity program from its onset. My point is, was that a wise choice for the Department of Commerce to pick a person that has been at the opposite end of equity to hand out funds for equity? That's not very wise. What's even more troubling is the same organization used blackface to obtain this contract with Department of Commerce. They informed Department of Commerce that they had affiliations with Black Excellence Cannabis, which was a lie. They've never reached out to us to ask us any insight on how they should implement, how they should engage with the community or the like. They did this not only with our organization, with the NAACP and the like, with every Black, they labeled, I think, 9 Black entities or organizations that they had reached out to. When I reached out to those entities and those organizations, they denied ever having any communication with Launch. What's Launch's motivation is the question. Why would they lie or send out false pretenses that they were somehow connected to the Black and brown community? Let's think about that for a minute. I'd like to change the subject. This is apparent. This is facts. There's over 30 retail stores that are in King, Pierce, and Snohomish County that did not meet the qualifications by law in 2015 to obtain a license. By law, this is a regulatory agency. You guys are here designed to regulate, to make sure that we uphold the law. This agency handed out 30 plus fraudulent applications, licenses to 30 owned plus white retail stores now that do not qualify. They have no qualifications to operate in the city, the state that they're in now. This is facts. This is facts. It's here. 30 of them. How did they get there? Whereas you have Black people that applied that had more qualifications, if not all qualifications, that were rejected for the same reasons that they were given it. Right here, 30 plus, right here operating with no license in Washington. Now get that,
30 seconds.
with no license. Now the social equity applicants are here. Those stores need to be revoked. Those licenses need to be given over to the social equity program. Thank you very much.
Amen.
Thank you. Dustin, did anyone that we missed, virtual, mic check, or any of the others come on?
Yes,
the
Acting Chair
virtual-
Garrett, it looks like Michael Check joined online finally. And has just left the meeting. No
Okay,
longer.
okay. So next, we have signed up in person is Bailey.
Hello, good morning to the board members. Thank you for this chance to speak. My name is Bailey Hirschberg. I am here mainly because I wanted to recognize that you guys have finally updated some of your educational materials online. And in fact, a few days ago, I was planning to show up and take you to task for having not done that. And then just this week, Kristen Haley, your public health education liaison, sent out a pretty general announcement saying that after probably more than a year of not having them, that you've got some new resources, including some that I actually contributed with you guys on. And I'd mainly like to say that the advice in there is good, at least the stuff I contributed to, but it will only be as good as the board actually puts effort and time into making people aware of. I understand that the focus is on law and rule, but I also think the board has a role and a place in modeling appropriate social behavior, civic standards around cannabis consumption, and around what we think should be normal around that, about that. And so having these rules in place, or I'm sorry, having this educational resources is good, but it will be much better if you guys are taking time to discuss what you like about it with the public, with fellow regulators at CANRA, with other state agencies, and actually make it a resource that is shared and celebrated instead of just a box that you checked off and something that you have. And I guess related to that, you guys have done a consumer survey or a public survey that you conducted in the first couple of weeks of this year. And there'd been some statements about releasing that information publicly. And since we now have some new information up on your website around that, that I think was sort of what the public was surveyed on, I'd like to see those results. And part of the reason that I think that is important is in the course of helping on this, you guys also reached out to a researcher from ADAI. And in looking at public records around your communications with this person, they made clear that they didn't really want my opinion added to things. And not just my opinion, they really kind of didn't want anyone they considered a cannabis advocate to be weighing in, because they didn't really see a difference between advocacy of the issue and being a member of the industry with a direct financial stake in the outcome of whatever the rules the LCB has on this. And I certainly disagreed with that notion, but I appreciate that that was that person who had certainly some expertise. That was their view. I guess what troubled me about that is this same researcher then had put out a study essentially saying that, well, if we want to do good cannabis policy making, we shouldn't listen to anyone we associate with the industry. We shouldn't listen to cannabis advocates because that's too close to the industry. Is the press too close to the industry? I don't know if they actually thought that or if they just suggested that because I also happen to write for Cannabis Observer. So I guess what I'm saying is, if you guys are going to be so skittish, so standoffish about who counts as a cannabis advocacy, who can advocate on behalf of consumers in the state or for their interest, then I hope you guys not only release the survey, you
Bailey, if you
continue
can
the
wrap up your
survey
thoughts.
and actually act as leaders in gathering public comment on this, rather than just saying, well, we're not going to listen to these people or we won't want to take them seriously when they talk. Anyway, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Bailey. Next, we have signed up Michelle Larson, or
Roxanne.
in the room.
He's gonna
Come on up here. I'm Roxana Larson and Michelle Larson's care provider. I'm Michelle Larson's Washington State Department of Health care provider. And she has had open heart surgery and has things running to her heart. So she's not able to attend here today, but in her stead, she's empowered me to represent her as also a member of our Cooperative 138. And if the board will allow that, she's a very sick woman who spends about 250 to 300 days a year in a hospital and has since 2017. She's a colorectal cancer patient that has survived about 70 surgeries. She's been a member of our cooperative since my father passed away in 2017. So we're trying to advocate for her. Our cooperative, located in Anacortes, Washington, was burglarized 5 times in 2019. And after the first burglary in February 2019, we went and reported it to the police and everything like that. And during that reporting process, came to find out that our cooperative was located a couple hundred feet too close to Anacortes Cannabis Store, which is on the other side of Highway 20 from us, on the other side of the freeway and a storage center. But evidently we're 200 feet too close. They came into existence after a cooperative was in existence, and there was some registration issues, and we went in and re-registered in May of 2019. And during that process, the issues that the board brought up were non-compliant location because somebody didn't live there, and its proximity to a 502 store. And we got a notice of intent to withdraw our license, and we appealed that. And through that appellate process, you guys guided us, and it was very wonderful. The people that I talked to in the LCB were very, very conscientious and thorough, I thought, in the way they directed me and how to set this appeal in process. So much so that we had an appeal set for September 6th, excuse me, of 2019. This is the documents with our registration and all our authorizations and from the Washington State Attorney General. It says clearly Cooperative 138. Our name's Flower Kissed. We're a cancer care cooperative that takes care of people who are dying, and then they die, and then we get a new patient. We don't know what 138 is, but we respected you guys. Said, well, we figured we're cooperative 138th cooperative or whatever. And we're dealing with the boundary line issue, which we thought 200 feet was something that would be easy to deal with you guys. And the fact that Michelle Larson was in the hospital at the time and dealing with open heart surgery, and she would be living there when she was done, out of the hospital. So we figured on September 6th, we would be able to, in court with Penny Allen and the LCP. And
You have 30 seconds.
okay. In any event, we were raided by the Washington State Liquor Interlocal Drug Task Force on September 5th, the day before we were in court with you on a boundary line dispute. And in that search warrant application, they say right here that Shannon Angel on July 25th, 2019 told Washington State Patrol Officer Frank Black that we were an illegal cooperative.
And that is your time.
Okay.
I notice you treat people differently when the time is up. Like you gave this guy all kind of latitude. You're like, hey, just like. conclude.
That's okay.
Mr.
Walk like that. Yeah.
Larson, someone will get back to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Next in person, we have Micah Shermanhead.
Schermerhorn, that's me.
Okay,
I can continue the narrative just from where it was at, if that's okay, to kind of help this along. We're all members of Cooperative 138, Michael Schermerhorn, Michelle Larson, Roxana Larson, and Jennifer Olds. We registered with you guys on several occasions. The first time was in 2016, but you had problems with your computers and the registration process. And in the phone conversation, I think it was with Susan Vega, but we have the transcripts and public disclosure documents. And she said, well, we're having problems with the computers and people are stealing a lot of stuff from cooperatives right now. And you can try registering again, or you can operate how you are just for now. And I said, well, we're just going to operate how we are for now. We don't want nothing stolen. And we continue to operate. And that was in 2016. Well, in 2019, we get burglarized 5 times and report all of them. They're caught on surveillance camera. Tamara O'Connor and Paul Ware are caught by Detective Mike Hansen from the Anacortes Police Department on camera, breaking into our cooperative, filling up a freezer with cannabis, putting it in the back of a truck, and driving away. Not only that, we were located at Suburban Propane, and they took a 100-gallon or 100-pound tank, I don't know, a big tank of propane, stole that as well. This is all caught on camera. None of those things I have problems with. But after the 5th burglary, the 4th and the 4th burglary, 4 burglaries in 20 days, I go to the Anacortes Police Office Department to file a complaint against the officers because I think they're participating in the break-ins. I had already given them the video surveillance footage and they refused to apprehend or even bring to court Tamara O'Connor or Paul Ware for the theft of Michelle Larson's cancer medication. We're beyond ourselves. I went to the mayor's office 2 days in a row to file a complaint against the Anacortes police officer and the police station one day. The last day I left the mayor's office, as I was leaving the mayor's office trying to file a complaint against them, I was ambushed by 3 Anacortes police officers who broke my shoulder, hip, and foot. Those same 3 officers then used this fraudulent testimony from Shannon Angel, which was put out on July 25th, 2019, on the same day you guys are sending me this document, July 25th, 2019, telling us that the Office of the Attorney General for the next stage in this process. So you're instructing us how to proceed into court, but on the same day, Shannon Angel is telling Officer Frank Black that we're an illegal cooperative so they can raid us the day before we're in court with the board on a boundary line dispute. And during the execution, the officers who broke my foot, shoulder, and hip were the ones that swore on the search warrant that we were a legal cooperative using Shannon Angel's email. And I don't know if this is true because all of the documents we ever got was from you guys that said Washington State Liquor Cannabis Control Board, Washington State Attorney General. Every document we have, our registration all has, these are original documents. This is our Cannabis Liquor Control Board registration. They're saying we never registered or were never licensed, and so we can't file a complaint. We need help from the board here to settle this.
Michael, that's your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Next in person, we have Christopher King.
Pardon me, I just got it.
You're good with me, neighbor.
Would you like some company, sir?
I would.
I'll
My
stand up
neighbor.
here.
My neighbor. I'm ready. Okay, so listen, I want to dovetail with where this man just was because I've seen that document and there's a problem. When Shannon Angel is busy telling Frank Black that this is an illegal operation, the problem is she doesn't use the right number. She cites to a different number. She cites to license number 412691. These guys are license number 428651. And instead of working with him, here's the problem. There is nothing that this LCB, that this agency has hated more than co-ops and nickels. I'll say nickels in here, people who look like me. And you've shown it empirically. This goes back to the days when Art West busted you guys for withholding information and the clandestine meetings you were having in violation of the Public Meeting Act. And you were all running around down there in the South End, finding out ways to shut blacks down and all the medicals down there. And you had Jenny Durkin, like I said before. I know my partner, Ann Continelli, has interviewed Jenny about this. She was violating the Ogden memo the whole time. It's a fact. Sending out these go to hell letters to innocent people. And it's all because you were ushering in this new era, getting rid of the medical. And you know, when John Novak and I sued you over the lack of quality for medical people, you ran us over. And so you were getting rid of all the good medical that people like this man do. By the way, this man's my neighbor. And I used to live in Arlington. What a coincidence. Anyway, we'll talk about Arlington in a minute. Because I was there last night talking with Attorney Staffney about some of the stuff that's going on in cannabis and mortgages. It's all the same racket. You disenfranchise honest people and give it to the crooks. And remember, I was a closing attorney in mortgages. Then I saw what was foul with that. And then I created mortgage movies where I started going to court to document this abuse. And I unwittingly voted for 502. Now I have a duty to correct that. Okay? Because it was all set up, just like the mortgage crisis, to disfranchise people. And that's what you do as an agency. You want all your money, you know, with Vicky Christopherson and all those guys, you want your money for your crony people. Like the crony, phony black narrative in Arlington, where I used to live, where you put Dennis Turner in there and propped him up like he's some kind of new messiah, golden child of the social equity era, when he's none but. And I showed you the litigation he was involved in with all the hundreds of thousands of dollars that he's liable for, he and his buddies. I showed you that. You got no comment about that. And by the way, Arlington hasn't written me back about that either. But you know, it's just a continuing pattern of abuse. And instead of trying to help Michael Schermerhorn, literally he is like about 1,000 feet. Instead of trying to help him, I already know that you're in litigation to fight him and run him over too. It's what you do. You don't know anything else, okay? And it's sad but true. You can't operate, you can't open anything new to build success, as Sammy was talking about, when you're mired in obfuscation. Remember when Kevin Shelton was supposed to be part of your crew and Nate Miles had to write that letter to Ollie Garrett with this return receipt here, that we never got an answer to what happened to that, okay? We can't see the CV of your director and you're looking at me like it's my fault, okay? It's not. These are logical things that people ask for from public agencies. Can I see the CV of your CEO? Can I see the CV of your COO? This is common stuff, man. Jesus.
Christopher, you have 30 seconds.
I'll take all of it. Next. When I think about how many lives you've wrecked and continue to wreck with this money now in the 2870 that you're doling out in the most niggardly fashion, if I may say so, okay? That's all part and plan of the conspiracy. And I don't have a tinfoil hat. I'm just a 60-year-old guy who was a state attorney, a closing attorney, a daily journalist, and I've seen a lot of things, but I've never seen an agency this corrupt.
Christopher, that's your time.
Good day.
Thank you. And that concludes our board meeting today. And thank you all. We will see you at the next board meeting. The meeting is now adjourned.
I should talk.